Lisa. I'm back with this sketch that I'm doing multiple layouts with the same sketch. I have two either 3x5 or 4x6 photos. In my case, I have them 3x5 with a wide mat, which I might leave the mat. In this case, I think the white's going to be a prominent color here. And these photos are of my cat and a bird, and they had a bit of a standoff. And if you are a cat person, you will probably really appreciate this story. If you're a bird person, you might not. But anyway, I like both. But it is the cat's porch, and so we'll get to the story in a minute. Anyway, we've got these two photos that of course I had to take them separately because the cat would come out and you can see his jaw open there. He's chattering at the bird, and then the bird would get brave and hop over on the chair and start squawking at the cat. Anyway, what I need are some neutral papers to go with this using this sketch. I know that I'm going to be flipping my photos here because I need the cat on the lower left and the bird on the upper right to sort of make sense here. But I don't know that I want to flip the whole thing. I think I still want to leave the circle. I'm just going to have it over here. So I guess I'm really flipping it left to right is what I'm doing. I'm flipping it left to right, so I'm going to have the circle over here and then the journaling down on this side. So that's what I'm doing. Now, I do have one neutral paper out that I had already had out from another project and I just hadn't put away yet. This is my neutrals drawer. Now, once upon a time, this was a very thin drawer because I didn't have a lot of neutral paper, but I've started collecting more of it since I didn't have very much, and now I have so much I'm just not using it. So we're going to go through the neutral drawer here. I'll put it on fast forward, and as I try to find some papers that work well with the cat and bird, because my cat's gray and white, so that's kind of where I want to go with the colors. I may add some color to it, but I want to start with some neutral base. As I sort these papers, I'm going to go ahead and do that 6x6 I know I'm going to use on this layout, but I'm going to put the 12x12 papers that are whole together and then all the little bits and pieces, and I do save all the little bits and pieces over to themselves. So it's an opportunity to sort the drawer as well as find things that match. So the things that I think will work, I'm kind of putting there towards the top of the screen where the photos are, and then the solids papers, that if there's one that I like for the background, I'll put it up there, but otherwise they're just sort of stacking up. Now the thing with the cat and the bird, the porch belongs to the cat, in our opinion, and in his opinion, but we had this obnoxious bird that just kept dive bombing him and picking at him, and for the most part he ignored the bird, but eventually it got to be a little too much. Okay, now we have some solid paper, or some full 12x12 sheets here, and I'm going through those and deciding which ones I like the best with the photo, kind of eliminating some that I just wasn't that crazy about once I laid the photos on there, and I ended up with this little polka dot. It's a slightly different color than I wanted. It's more of a taupey gray, but it still works, and it's a really good pattern for this. It's subtle, but it's just a fun pattern, I think, for this page. So I pulled some things from the 6x6 papers, and I have a wood grain there left over from a Webster's Pages collection that I'm going to use for my journaling. I've typed the journaling up and put that up there, and I need to find some letters, and I do struggle with, and I've got some stamps here too with some birds. I have gobs of bird stamps, so I will pick some of those. I really like that one there that I haven't used before, that single bird, so we'll probably get to him in just a few moments. So right now I'm hunting up some words to say turf war, as the bird and the cat would go back and forth at one another, and we knew who was going to win. All right, our cat is a ground kitty. I mean, mice and bunnies and stuff don't stand a chance around our house, but birds are usually safe because he doesn't like heights. I've never had a cat that didn't well, I have had a cat that didn't care for climbing trees, but Jasper doesn't get up. He doesn't even get up on the porch railings. He's not interested in heights at all. However, birds don't always stay in the air, and one day I walked up on the porch, and sure enough, there was a little patch of blood and a gray and white feather stuck to it. And we never saw a bird on the porch again. So the moral of this story is, if you're a bird, you should leave the cat alone. I mean, he really didn't, he didn't bother the bird at first. He was pretty tolerant of this whole thing, but after a while, it just got to be too much. So it's the cat's porch. And we have a little, I just happened to have these little photos that I had taken through the window. In fact, one of the photos, the lower one there in the top, it's kind of cloudy, and the reason is that window is dirty. It stays dirty. I can't keep it clean because that's where the cat hops up. He does hop up on one piece of furniture to stick his head in the window and let us know he wants to be fed. So that's as much heights as he does. All right, we're going to do our birdie here with some archival ink so that I can add color to it. And by color, I just mean neutrals. I don't do a lot of neutral pages. I love them when I get them done. They're just not, it's not in my nature. I'm a color person. So, but I think with the gray and white cat and the gray and white bird, this worked to be a good neutrals page. I do have this also from Imaginess, where the bird came from. I have a cloud stamp that I have probably used more than any single stamp in my collection. Stamping that on a couple of pieces from that 6x6 neutrals pad. And I'm going to cut out some clouds to put with that circle. And I'll be coloring the bird here in a moment with some Stampin' Up markers. And I stamped him on Stampin' Up white cardstock. Just keeping this real simple with, I think that's Sahara Sand and the new light gray color, Smoky Slate. And we do love birds around our house. I do have a bird feeder and stuff, and normally it's not a problem. Cat does not bother the bird feeder. We never have an issue. As long as we don't have any birds that try to take over, we're good. Alright, so we're going to use the Creative Memories cutters here again to cut this out. And I also have some cat stamps, but I decided not to use the full cat, just to use the paws. And this is going to be my border across the bottom. Instead of doing a border all the way around like the sketch shows, I'm just going to do one across the bottom. And I stamped that right in the middle of the page because I know that's going to get covered up, but I wanted to test my color. I'm using basic gray ink from Stampin' Up. I'm just going to repeat that going across the bottom of the page. And I do add a little bit at the beginning and the end, kind of partial pause there, so it looks like it's really a border. I'll trim down this journaling. I do want to leave some room on the bottom though to add some additional information and maybe a little ribbon there. These are Scrabble tile thickers, but I'm using the numbers this time. I need a 0 and a 1. That 1 is kind of pale. What I do in a little while is add some white gel pen to it to make it stand out more, because the 1 is really important, as you'll see in a moment. So we're going to have cat 1, bird 0. I guess I should feel bad for the poor bird, but you know, he was obnoxious, and it's in the cat's nature. I remember the first time another cat we had killed a bird, and I was just so mad at that. And my husband's like, it's his nature. That's what they do. And it is. In that case, though, that particular cat stalked the bird. He plucked him off of a bird feeder that I had too low at the ground. I learned my lesson. I like the page, except that it's a little bit heavy on the left-hand side with the bird over here, and I have this space, and I realized I haven't put the date in. So I've got a couple of stickers here. I wonder how the oval, I don't know, I think maybe the round one would be better. Let's take the round one. Yeah, I think I like that better. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. And then we'll put in summer 2014, because I don't know exactly the date. I could go look at the photos and stuff, but it happened. It actually happened over several days. Okay, so here's our page. We'll do some close-ups. We've got our clouds, the text on two different papers here to help War show up a little bit better, and then our bird that I just went ahead and used a circle for that. And what I did down here was put these on the same wood grain paper as I did that. It doesn't show up great on the background, but it gives them a little bit more room so I didn't have to scrunch things up so much and still not quite have enough space. We have this border here in place of doing something all the way around the page. I just did a border on the bottom. Flipped this so the circle's on the left hand side and the journaling's on the right, and I didn't do this embellishment up here, but I did a little bit more down here at the bottom. So anyway, a few changes to the sketch, and I will link the other videos, so if you haven't seen the first one, you can see the other video that goes with the sketch. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out my blog. You will find the sketch over there, and I will be doing the sketchbook again for 2014 with all of the sketches that I've used this year in there. So you have 52 sketches with all different sizes and stuff. That'll be coming out later on in the year. In the meantime, I have the 2013 sketches, and I have some classes that are available there as well. So thank you again for watching. I'd love to get your comments and your thumbs up if you like the video.